So the inner journey is what we're here to do, and you're not failing. Just turning up, just really, I really mean it. Just turning up is doing something. It's a step. Turning up is better than not turning up. So that gives you a pass. If you're not turning up at all, then the person isn't even doing the course. Once you're doing the course, then you're succeeding, even if it doesn't feel like that. That's okay, because that's the natural for our perceptions of ourselves to be judgmental. That's normal for us to have judgmental perceptions of ourselves. And noticing that, which you've done, is part of the process of the inner journey. And when you meditate and it goes quiet and you feel scared, that's also quite a normal reaction, because in our modern society, we're conditioned to be distracted. And so when things are quiet, we often have a kind of a panic about that. And that's what it happened to me when I was 18, starting, and I was meditating, and I experienced this big quiet space. Like, what's this? And I became scared. And I didn't practice for a while then because I was scared. But once you engage, once you have the experience of that quiet space, then just take shorter moments to lean into it. It's natural to be quiet as well as to be loud and active. When we're sad or depressed, or feeling loss or grief, we're quieter, and we need to be quieter to process that change in our reality related to loss and grief, sadness, to feel that sadness, because sadness is a feeling of love, but it's love related to loss. So it's not a bad thing to feel the love, even though it makes us sad. That sadness has a strength and a richness and a softness to it. Nothing can take that away. That sadness can be really inspiring. I go to a writing group, and one of the ladies in it, she wrote a story which was part of her life. And it was very sad. And it was, and she felt, she was anxious about sharing this story, even though it was a long time ago. But we all really enjoyed the story because it allowed us to feel that sadness, because we all have it. And when we can feel that sadness and we're comfortable with it, we feel okay feeling sad. You know, we're not judging it, we're not rejecting it. Then the sadness can pass through us. It doesn't stay stuck. But in our modern culture, we've rejected feelings like sadness. So it's very hard for sadness to flow through us, and we struggle with it instead of just letting it happen, letting it pass through. Because once our sadness has really passed through us, how are we then? If we're meditating and the sadness has passed through us, then we're just in this place of peace, because there's nothing else left except for the peacefulness of acceptance. So I suggest you say that when you meditate, just be prepared to accept your feeling of fear. And when you accept the feeling of fear, maybe you'll have a quieter sense, a quieter experience, and then there'll be another feeling and a quieter experience and another feeling. And that will continue on. And in the meditation practice, we have to accept our feelings, because that is the practice. If we reject our feelings, then there's something wrong with our meditation. We're actually avoiding our reality. And meditation is giving us the opportunity to integrate all of our reality, all of our feelings, the ones we judge as negative and the ones we judge as positive. All of that we become open to. Sometimes we avoid fear. Sometimes we avoid joy as well, because we've been conditioned to avoid joy. It's a very Irish thing. So just to take the time, not long and not under any pressure, to relax and to be open to the feelings that we have in the moment, and just to accept it moment by moment by moment. And after a number of moments have passed, I don't know how many, we could do something else. We might think about something else, and then we can come back and meditate and go through the process of acceptance more. The first stage on the journey is to have the willingness, which you do, because otherwise you wouldn't be here. So you're already practicing the first stage in the journey, which is the willingness. The second step is the acceptance of the present reality. And it's not that these steps get completed, it's that these steps are initiated, they're started, and we do more steps. But we always have to have the willingness, we always have to have the acceptance before we're ready for the third step. And that's ongoing. If I was sitting here and I wasn't accepting my feelings, then I wouldn't be able to sit here with you. Obviously, we're all, the fact that we're all here is proof of our willingness. So these things have to be here, and it's a gradual process. You listen, you repeat the rosary. So that's a kind of a mantra, as a type of mantra, which puts you into a certain state of mind, which on the one hand keeps the mind busy and also keeps a certain level of peacefulness as well, or security. And that's absolutely fine. And you might find there are other things which you can use as a mantra too. And you can, over time, ask yourself, or you might try to remember things that you've heard which you find valuable. And you can repeat those things to you in meditation. So one I'm working on at the moment is, I'm alive. I've been doing this one for years now. I'm alive, because I get so much out of that. I get so much uplifting perspective from it. And even if I'm dying, I'm alive is still true. And so I can look at how I am in this moment in time and appreciate it. Even if I don't like it, appreciation is different. Appreciation is valuing the fact that I'm able to value. It's valuing the fact that I'm able to notice, that I'm able to be conscious, that I'm alive, I'm responding to my reality. And that's better than not being able to respond to it. I really appreciate that. And it's springtime now, and I'm really listening to the birds outside, looking at the wild garlic coming up and noticing these things. And so it's just by slowing down, we can notice these things much better. If our mind is distracted with other stuff, busy in different ways, then we're not able to notice these things. So we need to have this quieter time to notice the things which we find valuable. So maybe we'll just have a couple of minutes meditation, because it's on the hour now. And just for 2 minutes, we'll just have 2 minutes of silence, and I want you to notice what you find valuable. And just let go and let yourself go into the silence. Let yourself go into the quietness. And you're giving yourself an opportunity to find out what you find valuable, to allow what's valuable to you to rise up in your mind. So I'd like us to check out by saying or writing what we find valuable. Before checking out, what do you find valuable?
Well, I find it of my voice. I'm happy that I can take what you say and apply it. And as I've said, I love having new perspectives.
Thank you, Priscilla. Appreciate that. Sherry writes, valuing my faith. It's good when we recognize what we value. It's an act of strength, isn't it? That we feel a little bit stronger. So this is the reason for meditation work, is we can work in this quieter kind of space. We can't do it in a busy, distracted space. And you can use this as your meditation practice for the week. What I find valuable, what I value.